these male and the female cooties unite, they form a different kind of a stage which matures to form an adult malaria parasite, which is subsequently injected after a period of about 7 days or so. It takes to get itself processed in the mosquito and then is injected back. Not all types of mosquito can transmit malaria. It is specifically the female species of the Anopheles mosquito which transmits the parasite. So if it bites to somebody else, it not only sucks blood, at the same time injects a little bit of what is in its salivary gland, and these mature parasites in salivary gland go into the person's blood. Subsequently, they undergo another process whereby they go to the liver of the person, again develop, and then only spread in the blood, causing the malaria illness. So this is the life cycle of the malaria. So you need a female Anopheles mosquito. You need a person who has malaria who gives it to the mosquito to bite the person who is otherwise fine, which can transmit the infection. When I am bitten by a mosquito which is carrying the plasmodium or the malarial parasite, after 3 days or 4 days after it is processed in the liver and comes out of the blood, it starts multiplying in the blood. It enters the red blood cells of the person's circulation, goes inside, multiplies, it blows out, and suddenly the blood is flooded with thousands of putti parasites, which cause the typical symptoms of malaria. When this comes out of the red blood cells, it starts with shivering, high fever, sweating, fever comes down. So these are typically 4 stages of the malaria symptoms. Starts off with shivering, fever. After that, person develops a high fever, severe dryness in the stomach, shaking, followed by convulsions. It's not convulsions. Convulsions is seizures. This is just serious shivering. The fever comes down by sweating, and then the person becomes normal. After 3-4 hours, the person is perfectly fine. But again, the next time the red blood cell breaks open and gives more parasites into the blood, the same thing happens. And depending on the species, this cycle varies. For example, in Plasmodium falciparum infection, this cycle happens every 24 hours. So every 24 hours, this happens, and then the person is free for about 10-20 hours, 12 to 15 hours, he's all right. Then again this starts. Whereas in Vivax, this happens every 48 hours. In malaria, this happens every 4 days. Because that's the time taken for it to mature in the blood and cause problems. Okay? So when a person has malaria and is bitten by mosquitoes, it can transmit the infection for this. So the main reason for spread of malaria is breeding of mosquitoes. And these, if you have water sources outside, where water stagnates in tires, in tins, in vessels, in kotanguchis, the mosquitoes breed, these mosquitoes come and suck blood and they spread malaria. So that is why malaria is more often seen just when the monsoon season begins, where there is a lot of water bodies outside. So one way to minimize or prevent malaria is to knock out these water sources so mosquitoes don't breed and then subsequently transmit malaria. There are very good treatments for malaria by taking these medicines, and there are some medicines which work only for certain types of malaria. For example, the Plasmodium falciparum is a serious infection, and that will not respond to the typical chloroquine which is given for routine malaria. Only Vivax will work. It will kill Vivax. So you need to choose the drug by giving the drug to clear all the malaria. But some species, like the Vivax, even if it is cleared in the blood, it can hide in the liver and can recur. So you need to follow it up with another medicine which will clear the parasites in the liver also. This is the story.
One question.
Just because he's taking a video, you understood. You are not taking down any notes, that's why. Oh, so you combine and do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a good one.
so you understood what I am saying. Clear.
Yes. The hope of this project is that we can find out the disease in a global, national and local perspective. So, for malaria, which areas, which countries or which global areas is malaria very prominent? And in India, in India you mentioned two types of malaria parasites are prominent. In Tamil Nadu, which one is more prominent, the first or the second type?
In general, malaria is found in all areas where you have mosquitoes. Okay, so which means mainly in the tropical areas. So you don't have in the upper part of the United States, parts of Europe, England, you don't have mosquitoes there. So it's mainly in the tropical belt, which includes African countries, Asian countries, mainly Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, all the Southeast Asian countries have malaria, including Singapore, Malaysia, there is malaria. But when you go down south to Australia, or go down south to sub-Saharan, I mean lower parts of Africa, lower parts of South America, upper parts of Europe and North America, you don't have malaria. In India, it is mainly found in those areas where mosquito breeding is high. So it is found in almost all the states of India, starting with Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, all almost northeast places are notorious because a lot of jungle, lot of mosquito proliferation, lot of stagnation. It may be absent in certain parts, maybe Rajasthan, dry areas of Rajasthan, upper parts of Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir, there you won't have malaria. The main species in India is vivax, which is a predominant one, but falciparum also, we have quite a few, but the more damage is caused by falciparum, more people dying is due to falciparum. Vivax usually is not as virulent as falciparum.
Okay. You mentioned malaria is passed only through the Anopheles mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito to be specific. What makes them unique? Why is it that only this type of mosquito can spread the malaria, not the others?
The internal anatomy and the physiology of the malarial parasite makes only this vector suited.
It supports the...
Yeah, it is like why, let me give you an analogy. Why is it that only cheetahs run the fastest? They belong to the cat family, lions can run, tigers can run. Only certain cat species can climb trees. Lions, tigers cannot climb. So why is it, what is it that makes them? It's just the way of they are adapted. So the way mosquito and the parasite fits happens only because there are certain other species of mosquitoes which transmit certain other diseases.
Like dengue or...
Yeah, dengue is transmitted by... There are several species of malaria mosquitoes. The Anopheles, you have the Aedes, you have the Culex. Aedes is the one which transmits dengue. Aedes is not transmitted, malaria is not transmitted by Aedes. Chikungunya is by Aedes. Yellow fever is transmitted by Culex. So, Aedes.
A prevention method could be mosquito control for malaria. But how can you prevent it after the parasite has entered your body? How can you prevent it from rupturing your blood cells?
You cannot, because only when you have the symptoms you diagnose that the patient has malaria. Otherwise, if it is in the system, how will I know that there is, unless I keep on doing blood tests for somebody? So, if the person becomes symptomatic, then you treat him. Okay? But you need to ensure that he is not bitten by mosquitoes which pick up the parasites and go and bite somebody else. So, in a human being, it is self-limited. Self-limited means it's not self, it is limited because you can either treat the person or the person dies. So, unless he is bitten by mosquitoes, it's not going to spread to others. So, what you need to target is mosquitoes.
Okay. What kind of anti-malaria medications are there? Is this the only kind of medication which you have, which you mentioned?
I don't understand. Is this the only kind of medication?
The anti-malaria medication you mentioned.
Yeah, there are several types of tablets and injections of anti-malarials. Earlier we used to have quinine, then chloroquine came in. There are several others, amodiaquine, primaquine. Now what is more prominent is a Chinese herb called artemether. Kinghaso is the Chinese name. This is from a Chinese bark of a Chinese tree that came in about 20-30 years ago, and that is the best anti-malarial we have because it works the fastest. It is very effective. But the current recommendations are to combine two anti-malarials, especially when you are dealing with a nasty type of malaria, which is the falciparum malaria. So you combine two anti-malarials, usually it is called ACT, artemisinin combination therapy. So artemisinin plus some other drug is combined to have the best effect.
What is the socio-economical status of malaria? Do poor people get affected more than rich people?
Anybody who gets bitten by mosquitoes can No, so if you're a rich person but your house is full of mosquitoes, you can get it. In general, poor socio-economic conditions are associated with bites of mosquitoes. So yes, they are definitely a high risk.
Usually symptoms occur after 8 to 25 days, including nausea, headaches, shivering, hemoglobin in the urine, and retinal damage. How does the malaria parasite cause these symptoms? And what is paroxysm?
Paroxysm is that which comes in fits and bursts. So that's what I said. The person is all right for 20 hours, then he starts this thing. So he gets a paroxysmal attack. He feels fine, suddenly it hits you. Because the malaria parasite enters the red blood cells, and red blood cells are found all over the body, wherever blood goes, it can affect any organ. So it damages the red blood cells, destroys them, and that produces hemoglobin, which can be excreted into the urine.
And how about retinal damage?
Yeah, because it goes and blocks the small blood vessels in the retina. It clumps, malaria causes clumping of red blood cells, so it can cause damage to certain organs.
Headaches could be.
So you can have something called a cerebral malaria, which knocks out the small blood vessels in the brain are clogged by these red blood cells which stick to each other. That is typical of falciparum.
And what causes the shivering?
Shivering, when the red blood cell bursts, it discharges parasites, which releases a lot of what we call as pyrogens or fever-producing chemicals.
Pyrogens.
Pyrogens.
Thank you very much.